Hello everyone, welcome to Stocker Team Special. In a move that sends shockwaves through both the aerospace and silicon sectors, Elon Musk has officially consolidated its empire. SpaceX has acquired xAI, the artificial intelligence venture Elon Musk founded in 2023. In an all-stock transaction that creates a combined entity valued at about 1.25 trillion. SpaceX has finally merged or perhaps acquired xAI, the AI company, plus X, the microblogging platform. In this episode, we'll be talking about this deal, what exactly is in it for xAI, what exactly is in it for SpaceX, and how is this 1.25 trillion behemoth is going to actually stack out on Wall Street when SpaceX finally goes on IPO later this year. In the part 2 of this video, we'll be talking about the SpaceX IPO, especially from much more information we've gathered. So if you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe to our channel, put on your notification bell so that you don't miss any updates that we bring to you. So let's jump right in. And before we do that, this episode is proudly presented by stockerteam.com, the platform for retail investors to get coaching guidance and on how to pick and build long-term portfolio. Let's actually get going. So this deal was announced yesterday, which was Monday. This effectively merged the world-leading launch provider with the data asset of social media platform X and the computational power of Grok. The merger is being framed not just as a corporate restructuring. It is seen as a fundamental shift in how humanity will scale intelligence by taking off into from being a one planetary civilization into a multi-planetary civilization. That's exactly what Elon Musk is actually trying to build according to his vision with SpaceX. Now, let's look at the strategy of this new business, which is now SpaceX. So SpaceX now actually technically owns and runs xAI. The core rationale for the deal is a desperate need for power. So with terrestrial energy grids struggling to meet the cooling and electricity demand of modern AI, SpaceX, which is SpaceX xAI, plans to launch a constellation of up to 1 million satellites to serve as orbital data centers. That's actually the vision of Elon Musk. He actually believes that the best way to get energy to power the future of AI is to basically have these data centers in the space and up to 1 million satellites, which will actually even serve a whole lot of data need for even planet Earth. So global electricity demand for AI simply cannot be met with terrestrial solutions in the long term. Space-based AI is obviously the only way to scale, the company said in the statement. So by utilizing Starship, which is targeting a launch cadence of nearly 1 flight per hour, SpaceX actually aims to build a Sentient Sun, an infrastructure leveraging unfiltered solar energy and the natural vacuum of space for cooling. So space is actually very cold. The temperature in space is very, 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 at the lowest of the low. So if SpaceX can actually put these data centers in the orbit, it's actually going to make it, if not the cheapest way to actually run data centers, but it will make it the most efficient way, because these data centers do not need any cooling. They just need to run using the power of the sun, which is solar energy. But it's not all well and dandy when you get this kind of deals. Is it going to actually make xAI to become the biggest AI company ahead of ChatGPT's owner, which is OpenAI, ahead of Anthropic, ahead of a few other LLM companies? Is xAI really profitable? X itself, the microblog, is it really profitable? What exactly is in it for investors? What exactly is this going to mean for SpaceX when SpaceX finally goes public? So, as the company prepares for this highly anticipated IPO later this year, analysts are actually weighing the highly talked about idea of being perhaps listing at the highest ever valuation. This is going to actually be watched with a whole lot of scrutiny and questions. So there's a whole lot of significant financial risk. We shouldn't actually, doubt that. So number one, let's look at the pros before we actually go into the cons. This is going to actually mean, number one, complete integration. The new SpaceX will own data, which is via X. X has a whole lot of data generated in microseconds. A whole lot of people chatting on the platform, from computing to entertainment to digital to coding to anything you can think of. The compute will come from xAI, and the infrastructure will come from Starlink and Starship. So the company is not going to just rely on third-party cloud providers like Microsoft or Azure. So basically, SpaceX, Starlink needs a whole lot of data center infrastructure. So at the end of the day, this merger could actually mean a very, very positive integration that these three companies can actually benefit from themselves. So xAI brings the data, X itself brings the data, xAI brings the compute, and Starlink actually brings that infrastructure for the space, and all of them, all the three companies can actually benefit themselves. Also, a whole lot of people might actually want to buy into this company in the future, or one of the benefits this company brings on board is the Elon Musk premium. So by folding xAI into SpaceX, Musk actually create a pure play for investors who want exposure to both the space economy and generative AI in a single dominant ticker. So we have heard about OpenAI planning to launch its IPO later this year in the fourth quarter of this year. So if Elon Musk is actually taking this step, he wants to actually be ahead of the game. It has been rumored that OpenAI could actually go on IPO for close to about 1 trillion. Now that xAI, now that SpaceX xAI is now valued at about 1.25 trillion, does this actually make SpaceX xAI more valuable than OpenAI? Does this actually make them ahead? We have a whole lot of other great areas about xAI itself. xAI has not been very, very competitive in terms of Grok, actually taking so much compute. Over $1 billion is being spent monthly to keep xAI itself going, which is Grok, and Grok has not really been able to actually compete toe to toe with ChatGPT or even Anthropic, which is Claude, in terms of coding, in terms of any other task that you want to think of. If you also look at Gemini is very, very strong. So this Elon Musk premium, is it overstated? Is it overemphasized or overhyped? It's yet to be seen. Before we go into that, I will like to also look at the dominance of SpaceX. SpaceX really is going to actually be stronger by this merger. The merger actually strengthens SpaceX bid for defense contracts. So xAI already holds a $200 million Pentagon contract, and the ability to run secure space-based AI for intelligence agencies is a massive competitive moat. So the government of the US actually buys so much contract, so much product, and so much services from SpaceX. Now that the dominance might actually be created with SpaceX being the first company to actually have data centers in the space, the US government might actually want to be the first government and the first institution to have data centers for the US defense, US intelligence gathering, and so many other things that the US want to do. That first mover advantage, the US might actually want to do it ahead of China and maybe ahead of Russia. We'll get into the cons shortly. So looking at the the cons of this merger. There are concerns, especially governance concerns. Some critics actually said that this is like a Solar City kind of style bailout, Solar City style bailout. xAI was reportedly burning billions to keep pace with OpenAI and Google, folding into a profitable SpaceX. Actually now protects xAI from a private market valuation crash. So perhaps it could have been worse for xAI if they had not merged with SpaceX. That's what a whole lot of analysts are viewing this as, because xAI burns about $1 billion daily to actually keep the lights on, which is not really a strong way to actually run a business. Brand contamination, investors actually, they see this, SpaceX is actually a very stable business. It's now going to now absorb the reputational risk of Grok. Grok X, they have a whole lot of reputational issues, including controversies regarding content moderation, deepfakes, a whole lot of disagreement with even sovereign institutions like countries in Europe, especially the European Union, looking at X to actually regulate how X actually allows its platform to be used for misinformation, disinformation, and a whole lot of things. Now it's also going to be seeing this company going into on maybe uncharted territory, let's put it that way. The cost of adding space-grade GPUs and the latency of orbital compute remain massive technical hurdles that may not be solved for years. So this has not been tested. GPUs no one has actually taken GPUs to the cloud, to the space, if you put it that way. So this is a new business model that is yet to be tested and is yet to be seen. So a whole lot of doubt along the line. So can SpaceX actually survive the xAI burn? Is SpaceX able to actually absorb $1 billion in daily expense? So the most immediate challenge for SpaceX is a compute tax. So while SpaceX has become a cash flow powerhouse, generating billions in profit from Starlink and NASA contract, it is now tethered to a cash furnace. Reports actually indicate that xAI projected that in 2025 the business will lose or has actually lost $13 billion against just 500 million in revenue. So the gap between revenue and the loss of xAI is just so wide. And we also have the GPU crisis. The cost of training next generation LLMs is actually skyrocketing. To compete with the likes of OpenAI, which is Sora, or even Google's Gemini, xAI requires hundreds of thousands of high-end GPUs like the Nvidia H200s or even the Blackwell chips that comes at a very high cost. So capacity, intensity, single training cluster can cost close to about $5 billion. There's also the drain. There's a real risk that the massive R&D cost of xAI will siphon capital away from Starship development and the Mars mission. It is yet to be seen. All of this baggage is what SpaceX is actually taking on. Also, the IPO gamble. So the success of the upcoming IPO is now a necessity. SpaceX needs that projected 50 billion capital raise just to fund the silicon required to keep Grok competitive. So what's the path ahead? I will bring it to a close on that note. So if Musk's gamble pays off, SpaceX will become the first company in history to control the literal and digital heavens. And if it fails, the high cost of terrestrial AI compute may drag the world's most successful rocket company back down to earth. I close on that note. What do you think about this merger of SpaceX and xAI? Do you actually think this is going to make SpaceX more powerful, more profitable, and much more sought after by government, by institutions who actually want to take the space by the horn? It is yet to be seen. Let's hear from you in the comment section. We love everyone. Thank you so much. This video has been brought to you by StockerTeam.com, the platform for retail investors to get coaching guidance on how to build long-term and sustainable portfolio. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and bye-bye.